What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, Ace's Place 22, where I'm Ace, and this is my place, and this is the Ace in the Hole Variety Show, episode 21. We're finally legal. Oh my God, we can pop open a bottle and chug it all the way to the bottom. This is literally, the episode is called Ace in the Electric Boogaloo. And why did I call it that? Well, because yesterday and this whole week and a half, I have been having the worst internet connections for whatever reason. It took me, I'm not even exaggerating, the last video I uploaded, which was, I think, my wing nut and screw loose figure review, it took me I feel literally like 10 hours to upload that fucking video. Internet kept going out and I couldn't get my phone back to get a signal for like hours on end. So I just figured Electric Boogaloo sounded kind of funny with the shitty service I've been getting. What is up, Prophet? I know there's a couple other people that have commented, but Prophet's the one that just jumped in there. So we are gonna mention the comments right now. Virgo Cool, let's fucking go. We got Ultra Liger, Seafrost up in the house, and the Prophet Director. Thank you all, guys, and gals, for joining me here on this Saturday's edition of the Variety Show. We will be ready here in a minute. I'm not going to do another long live. It's probably going to be about an hour or so. Yes, Ultra, I just watched. Well, I don't want to say I just watched it, like I watched the whole thing, but I just saw a couple clips. I saw Cena retained. I think most of us kind of assumed that. Punk had a pretty good promo last night. I like that. Jade is our new queen of the ring. All hail the most fine queen there has ever been with Jade Cargill. That's me giving air kisses to her because I will worship that woman. But we're going to run about an hour, maybe a little bit longer. Not super crazy. I don't have a whole lot to go over. I didn't really plan anything other than just talking about what I picked up. I guess I didn't really pick up anything throughout the week. Didn't go to the stores and buy anything. But I did have a couple of things that I ordered off of eBay come in. And that was some Ninja Turtles stuff and some Simpsons things. So stay tuned for that. I am actually, you're going to hear some buzzing and humming, and that's my fans, because it's warm up in this house. But I am actually going to get myself a drink. I suggest everybody get yourself a beverage. Oh, fantastic. All right, awesome. I was thinking it was this weekend because I believe this is the last weekend of this month. So yeah, definitely check out Prophet Director's channel, M3 Reviews channel, and Sergeant Curtis. Oh, I always get his name. Sergeant Curtis Squawk Box Star Wars. I think that's his channel. This Sunday. Hold on. We got to get a cup. This Sunday for the 1989 movie review, best of. I'm not sure what the exact title is, but check that out. I'll be a guest on all of their shows. I believe they all do a YouTube show and they all present this. I can't wait for the 89 movie review, movie talk. That's going to be a lot of fun. I think I watched all of 87, and I know I watched all of their 88 review. So I can't wait to see how Prophet has come up with some jokes integrated into the titles of the movies, because I find that to be very, very, very brilliant stuff that he does. And most of it seems to go over some people's heads. So I have a huge appreciation for the little subtle things like that. And I'll be on my best to see how well I know my 89 movies that I picked and stuff like that. So let's see what some other comments have been. There's that one. Bro, it's super, super warm. I am very sticky right now. But when we get to that, give me a minute here. Let me pack this up and grind it up. If you all know what I'm doing, 420, happy smoking token to you. I do hope everyone is doing well. Right now, I'll go through the usual shout outs. I don't have them written down, but we'll give them the first in the going. We're going to give Seafrost the shout out, the first shout out of the day. That's Seafrost in Tokyo. Great folks. It was Tokyo's, I believe, 30th birthday yesterday or the day before. My brain can't remember it now. I sent her a cool little picture of Stitch and a duck celebrating a birthday party. So if you see her in the chat, wish her a late happy birthday. Get over to his channel, give him a like and a subscribe and all that. He does independent music reviews, very cool stuff. I don't want to say I've learned a lot, but I've met a couple of people through his channel that have, dipped over here onto my channel. So definitely it's an awesome, awesome time over there when he does his lives. And then, oh, the Waxy. Oh, I'm so glad that made her happy, man. Like, it was just a simple little thing, and I was so stoked that it actually went through because of how shitty my internet's been. So I was happy that it went through. And then up next, we are going to give a shout out to Casual Toy Collector and Bruce Serace over at the Casual Toy Collectors channel. That's Casual with a K. Go check out his channel. They do lives every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, and occasionally they might do one here and there for a special moment. Joe Fest 2025 just ended over the weekend, this last weekend, and so him and a couple of other channels did a bunch of coverage of the Joe Fest, so go check that out. Roughshod Stalks, that's Graybeard and Virgo Cool. They also did a huge live stream for, like, I believe the 2 days that they went to Joe Fest. I know. Check out his channel. He does a bunch of reviews and stuff like that. And there's also Derek's Wrestling Toys and Tees. He went to Joe Fest. Check out his channel and all the other people. So, oh, you're welcome, Tokyo. You're very, very welcome. I am sweating my tail fin off in this little room that I'm in. I can't wait to get the French toast out of here. I hope everybody's doing really well. By the way, if I could get a thumbs up or a little bit of an interaction on asking me how the audio quality is. Is it a little butchered, choppy? Is it smooth? Does it sound normal? Just let me know, folks. I'm avoiding using the camera because the last stream I did was very, very grainy and very, very hard for me to watch. All right, cool. Thank you, Ultra. So when I do the video, it's only going to be one way facing. All right, cool. It's like the usual. It's not the best. It's on par with where this channel is. But I will flip the camera on when I'm showing off some of the stuff, and then I'll probably open up the chats just for a little bit of talking. I know Prophet's in here. He might want to jump in and discuss the movies of '89 and how it works for me to go over a little bit for tomorrow. If not, then hey, no harm, no foul. Nobody ever cried over spilt milk except for me because I love fucking milk. All right. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, 420. All right. All right. I'm gonna hold this sucker in as long as I can. That's as far as I can go with it. Woo! All right. Oh, that's out of the way. Let's get the business. Let's see. that ganja will sneak up on you guys and gals. All right. I don't have a shirt on, so let's hope that the camera doesn't flip around the wrong way. Are you going to see some titties? All right. Let's read some chats, and then I'll talk. We'll get the show going. I'll flip the camera on here in a minute. Let's get Ace to 500 subs. Let's get to 500 subs. Let's go to Subway and get 500 subs. Don't forget to like and share. Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. What's up, Prophet? The rest of the chat. I hope everyone is good. Get him to 500, right? He's having fourth. Yeah, I honestly kind of thought it was dope that it was at 469 because I'm thinking, you know what? Even if we don't get to 500, we all getting some 469s, baby. All right, that's enough of the dirty talk. we're professionals up in this motherfucker. We can't be talking like that. What? Come on now. We're big YouTube stars. We can't be talking profanity on the channel, folks. All right, we're gonna flip the camera on. Boop. How does that look? Does that look all right, y'all? Does that look good? I think that looks all right. Kind of in a new location, not in my regular office. I'm in my bedroom, so I had to set up something. Here. Let's see. Get the camera. Cool. That this right here, this Turtles in Time backdrop is a rug that I picked up. 69, dude. You had to have said it, right? Where's the other one? There it is. What number am I thinking? Nice, nice. So yeah, this Turtles in Time backdrop is actually a rug. I just got it in the mail. I got it off of Temu for like $6. I thought it was going to be a little bit bigger, but this is actually going to be like a base plate, not a base plate, like a base mat that I'm going to use for, put underneath the figures and stuff like that when I do videos. But I thought for now, hey, that looks kind of cool in the backdrop. So that's what's up. And this is just a thrown together little display. Again, I'm in my bedroom because most of my studio is being torn apart because we're moving. So I think that looks pretty rad though. And where did I put them? Oh, they're in my pocket. So on the live I did, what the hell was it? I think I did this on the live. On the Turtle Tuesday live I did last week, I believe I showed off this coin here, which is a Resident Evil 7 antique coin. In the game, you collect these and you can use a whole bunch of them to unlock, guns and upgrades and all sorts of silly stuff like that. It's got like a pelican or a swan on it. And then it just says Resident Evil 7. This is exactly what it looks like in the game with that copper, kind of coloring to it. When I order stuff off of Temu to get me to that extra, free shipping or whatever, or, the $20 limit, I usually throw something in there that's like $1 or $1, close to, $2 to get me that limit. And last time I picked up this, and then with the stuff that I just ordered, I picked up a Resident Evil 2 coin. This has what the hell is it on there? I thought I was getting the lion one, but I'm not. I'm getting like the woman with like a pop, and there it says Resident Evil 2 on the back. And again, there it is. And I think these are just cool. They're only $1 something. And I'm a coin collector, not like a traditional antique coins, but like just funky collector's coins like that. What's up, Doug? Welcome to the chat, brother. And then Seafrost, Tokyo, are you both in the chat? I'm not gonna continue until I see. All right, there's Tokyo. Seafrost, you still here, brother? All right, cool. All right, and up next, I ordered 2 of these, 2 of them for my local New York fam, and that is Tokyo and Seafrost. I don't know what size you guys were, so I got large for both of you, and I hope they're okay. But there are these, my guy and my girl. I got you 2, 1 for each of you. It's the AI generated Sub-Zero duck that I made, that image I sent you, the Get Frosted. When you said these had to be shirts, I was like, my guy, I'm already there. I've already got them ordered. So there's nothing on the back. They're just all white with that little ducky duck on them. So got these made up for you both. Perfect timing. One can be for Tokyo's birthday, and then the other one is a thank you so much for sending that Garfield to my daughter. Dudes, she doesn't put that Garfield down. She sleeps with that Garfield. She takes that Garfield everywhere. We went to see Elio, the new Disney movie. She brought Garfield with her. So, I mean, y'all, I appreciate you. And in my world, when one hand washes the other, that's just how it works. Like I do for those who do for me, and not out of expectation or obligation, but just out of dedication. So there you go, my fam. So those shirts are pretty dope, and they were super. I don't want to sound like a cheapskate, but they were super cheap. Man, Temu is the shits. So let's go back to some of these comments. Doug Smith, my midday is going fine. That's good, Doug. I'm glad to hear that, man. I'm glad you're not, you're not stressing over nothing. Bro, I'm gonna rock the hell out of that shirt. Yeah, you are. Oh, bro, that's so freaking cool. Thank you. You're so welcome. Taking it easy now, going to a Comic-Con later. Really? What Comic-Con is going on in oh man, why am I forgetting? I know where you live. Like I got your address and I'm drawing a blank on it now. But what Comic-Con is going on? That's pretty awesome. I wish there was one going on. I know I got a toy show in a couple of weeks, my local one. Oh my God, I'm thirsty. Oh, you know what? Hold on a minute, folks. I'm forgetting the things I want to show off. All right. Well, at that 20-minute mark, I'm going to throw the link out there for anybody that wants to join. Albuquerque. That's right. That's right. I wanted to say Arizona, and I couldn't get it out of, like, it was just sitting on the tip of my tongue, and no matter what I would have said, I could have wanted to say the word mayonnaise, and Arizona would have come out. So Duke City Comic-Con. All right, man. I hope you find some good shit there. I really do. Awesome. Love Comic-Cons. Any of them. Small ones, all of them, man. I'm so glad she loves the Garfield, bro. Next time I get the Garfield lasagna backpacks. Oh, she would go ape shit for that one. I appreciate that very much. So yeah, at that 20-minute mark, we're gonna throw the link out there. Oh, I still gotta grab. We got to do another quick shout out because I did forget to do this. On one of my turtle videos, I forgot to give a shout out to our pal TKD Bar. Few months ago, I had bought this Triceraton figure at a local toy show for $5. Pretty good deal. The only thing that was missing was his tail. This is the original gun that he would have had, but this was mine as a kid because I had this guy as a kid. This is just a regular Triceraton guard, but I was missing this tail. So TKD Bar went to one of his local toy stores, and they had a bunch of these Triceratons. So my dude bought one. It was a janky one, but it had the tail on it, so it was great. Bought the figure, and he sent me sent me the figure. I was able to get the tail, put it on my Triceraton for a completed figure of the 1990 Playmates version of the TMNT Triceraton. So this is really awesome. I thank you very much, TKD Bar, for hooking me up with the tail. So again, I have a completed action figure from 1990. And my dude just bought from that same toy store a Super 7 Ultimates version of this Triceraton. And boy, it's awesome looking. He got a pretty good deal on it. It's a great looking figure. He sent me a couple pictures of it the other day, and I was jealous. That's what he wants. That guy wants to get me all jelly, and he did. He did. I thought that said Fago for a minute. I'm like, are we doing a Fago like party? Hee hee. I'm going to Otakon. Otakon? Metal Gear Solid? What the fuck is Otakon? Oh, it's right there. Animate. Aha! I should have freaking. That sounds kind of fun. I'm down for any of that stuff. I love it. Got to show me the DBZ stuff. Absolutely. I thought that said Fago. My lord. Guys are always happy when they get some tail. Oh my god, absolutely. Whether it's dino tail, lady tail, some tail, we're always happy. And you know what? The best part, Prophet, I didn't have to pay for this tail. So that tail was free, baby. Mm-mm-mm. Next up, though, I picked this up. We all know who this is. This is the Val Kilmer's Batman Forever, the reissue DC Retro Collection version of Batman. It's a pretty cool looking figure. I have no intentions on opening him. I collect certain things from this movie, specifically the Batman Forever movie. I've got the reissue Two-Face, the reissue Riddler, and now the reissue Batman. I don't think I'll get the Chris O'Donnell Robin, maybe. But the reason I picked this one up specifically is because last couple of months or whenever it was, Val Kilmer, unfortunately, passed away. RIP to one of the best. And this figure just commemorates his look in that movie to a degree. And I just think it's a great addition to my Batman Forever collection. And why the hell not? Oh, and one of the biggest reasons I picked it up was because it was on sale for $6 at Target yesterday. So they're clearing house of their action figures and stuff. So I figured I might as well get it before it's gone. Yeah, the Batman Forever, it's a weird love I have for the movie because it's not my favorite Batman movie by any means. I definitely will poop on the movie for the quality and all that stuff too, like most people. But it sits with me in that guilty pleasure zone. I love to hate it and I love to love it at the same time. Val Kilmer is one of my absolute favorite actors in the whole wide world. His role in the movie Heat, I just enjoy the piss out of that film. So this movie's really great. Two-Face is my favorite Batman villain, and Jim Carrey is one of my favorite comedic, idols of all time. So that might be the whole concoction of why I really enjoy the movie. But I figured I might as well have the Val Kilmer Batman. I do like the look of him. I mean, he's got a little bit of a silver look inside the suit itself. He's much bulkier in the chest than he ever was in real life. But again, if we flip it around, you can see that there's the other characters in the coming soon is that Superman. I haven't seen that Superman from this specific line, so I don't know what the hell that Superman is. My favorite Batman movie, 100%, is Batman '89, and I don't want to get too into the Batman '89 reasons why I love that because you gotta watch Prophet's channel or M3's channel tomorrow, Sunday, because we're going to be talking movies of '89 and Batman 1989. Of course, well, it's not called 1989, but that's how we refer to it. Batman with Jack Nicholson and Michael Keaton and Kim Basinger. That is to me the best. Well, it's not the best Batman movie, but it is my personal favorite Batman movie of all time. So you got to tune in though to their channels to hear that discussion. Because that's going to be awesome. There's going to be a lot of great movies we're going to be talking about tomorrow. You guys got to fucking be there to watch it. I can't wait to be part of that discussion. Let's see what I missed while I was yipping. I enjoyed Batman Forever. Yo, Ace. Old school. Old school. What is happening? I'm glad you're here. I am glad you're here. I believe I don't know whose channel is specifically hosting it. Prophet, you'll have to leave that in the comments because I know it's a shared stream. So I don't know specifically who is the initiator of that all. I think it is Prophet himself. But old school, I'm glad you're here. My, not the bank. What place do you go where you mail stuff? The post office, you fool. My post office closed at 11 today, and I thought it closed at noon. Wasn't. Oh yeah, you know what? What an idiot! I'll put the link up right now. I was supposed to, and I never got to it. Sorry, folks. My bank. Why do I keep saying that? I need to stop smoking. My post office was closed at noon today, or at 11, not noon. So I wasn't able to get that out there mailed, but I have it already. It's all labeled. Your package and Graybeard and Virgo's package are both labeled and ready to go, and they're going to get mailed out on Monday. I don't have to work, so it's going to be an easy run to the post office. And then Seafrost, your package is going to be getting mailed out possibly Friday, if that's cool with you, brother. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome the one, the only, the Prophet Director.
How's it going, my friend?
Good, good. How are you, brother? How are you?
Not too bad. So the channel that the 89 ranking show will be primarily on is Sergeant Curtis Schultz Star Wars Squawk Box.
There you go. That's the mouthful I can never remember.
Yeah, Digital Caveman will probably stream it on his channel as well.
Okay.
M3 might. I don't know. It's you know, it depends on whatever mood he's in.
True.
But yeah, man. Pretty much what we do is everybody, all the panelists. There's 6 panelists, 5 regulars, and 1 guest. Ace is the guest tomorrow.
Woo.
Everybody picks the top 10 movies from the year in question, which will be 89 tomorrow. And then the movie gets ranked based on how many people pick it. If 1 person picks it, it's ranked D. If 2 people, it's a C. 3, it's a B. 4, it's an A. And if 5 or 6 pick it, it's an S-ranked movie.
Okay.
So I've already got all the slides ready to go and all that. The only thing I need to complete now is the thumbnail, which I just have to do a little shot. I've got a nice little, I always put a little comedy in the thumbnail, try to,
oh yeah,
have a movie from that year, like toys from a movie from the year involved in the thumbnail. This year, it will be Batman, obviously. I mean, I have the Mezco 112 Collective, Michael Keaton Batman, and I have the McFarlane 89 Batmobile, so why the hell would I not use it, right?
Exactly.
But the only other thing I need, and I sent you an email on it, Ace. I know you sent me your logo, but for some reason, I cannot pull it off of my phone. So
okay,
if
so you want me to
send it to me in that email, like just reply to the email with your logo.
Yep.
I'll be able to finish that intro video and we'll be ready to go for tomorrow.
All right. As soon as I end the stream, I will definitely get to that.
Right. No big rush. Like I said, I still have to do some shots for the thumbnail as well.
Awesome.
But
yeah, very much.
Batman Forever, like not a great movie.
No.
But unforgettable bat nipples.
Yeah, and what I find is absolutely appalling is they give, Batman and Robin these bat nipples, but then once Batgirl comes onto the screen, she has no bat nipples.
Right. And well, and Joel Schumacher, with his love of close-ups on bat crotches.
And bat butts.
And, I have to say that probably the most ridiculous thing in that movie, and this is saying a lot considering Tommy Lee, his over the top performance.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Jim Carrey, like being as hammy as ever. And they were not the most ridiculous thing in the movie. The most ridiculous thing in the movie was the fluorescent, neon blacklight street gang.
Yeah.
But chicks dig the car.
Chicks dig the car, man. The whole aesthetic of that movie was just a straight acid trip. Like, it takes such a complete, I don't want to say dramatic, but a complete turn from what, Tim Burton's movies were to this, lick your finger and stick it into an outlet and just get electrocuted style movie of like, oh my Lord, even as a kid. And I was the perfect audience for this movie. I was captivated by the colors and the look, but the overall presentation, even as a kid, I remember just being like, this is a weird movie. This just doesn't feel like, I don't know who the audience is for this. It was strange.
Well, then that's the funny thing about it is the reason that they didn't bring Tim Burton back for the third one was because parents were outraged about how scary the second one was, you know,
Which is crazy.
and they're like, well, we need to sell Happy Meal toys.
Yep.
Right. So Joel Schumacher, like a lot of people blame him for it, but it's like he just gave the studio exactly what they asked for. One huge toy commercial.
100%. Though, because those toy commercials back in the day were like, if they had shown them within the confines of like the Batman Forever movie, like if you saw a scene where a kid was watching a commercial for Batman toys, it would have felt like they went right hand in hand. They were so crazy and hammy. It did. That movie was one long promotional piece for toys.
Right, right.
And then
not just for toys either. You remember they did what was it? They did a Coca-Cola commercial for that movie.
Oh yeah,
they did
had
a Burger King commercial for that movie. You remember Batman saying, "I'll get takeout"?
Yeah, didn't they do Pizza Hut too or something like that?
Might have been, but I know Burger King did the coffee mugs because I still have those. I have those coffee mugs.
Those like the crystal glass ones or whatever they were.
Right, right. They were like the clear glass.
Yeah, I've got two of them still. I think it's one of them is like the Riddler one, and then the other one has Robin on it, or maybe it's Batman and Robin.
Yeah, there was a Riddler, a Robin, a Batman, and I believe a Two-Face.
Yeah, those were really cool. I wish Burger King or McDonald's would do those kind of collectors things again now, but because those cups
nowadays
are great.
It's all plastic. They won't do the glass ever again.
Well, even if they did stuff like that, it would be a stupid amount of price. They did, well, I think it was last summer, they did a collector's like chicken nugget meal for adults where you get like an adult version. Well, I don't want to say version, but like an adult chicken nugget toy for like an adult meal or something. And it was almost $20. And all it was just a upsized, version of that meal. Just to sell the toy and be like, oh, you better get this now because it's limited edition, yada yada.
Right, right. I remember like back in the day, like you would get the glassware for an extra $1 when you ordered a Coke.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you're gonna pay $10 for the glass if they did it.
100%. And like you said, if it was even glass, it's probably going to be more than that. So you're probably going to, it wouldn't be worth. I mean, Jesus, perfect example. Look at what I want to say Marvel, but look at what all of these new, blockbuster movies are doing with we have to have a popcorn bucket because that's the new cool thing. Those fucking popcorn buckets are like $60. That's
right. And on the secondary market, they're even more ridiculous.
Exactly. And that's crazy. It's just a hunk of plastic just so you can say you have one. I mean, I like to collect stuff, and I'm not trying to shit on people's like preferences, but the price for certain things where it's like, oh my God, you could get one made on like Temu now for, pennies on the dollar.
Right, right. The only popcorn bucket I was sad to have missed out on was the Ecto one.
Oh, I didn't know Ghostbusters did one.
Ghostbusters did multiples. They did some theaters got the Ghost Trap as a popcorn bucket.
Yes,
and other theaters got the car, the Ecto one.
Oh, see, that would, and I like the idea of them. They just can't be that price. That's insane. Like when I went to see the fourth Captain America movie, they had like, I don't know, 3 or 4 different versions of popcorn buckets from the traditional, metal style popcorn bucket or tin to, it was a full bust of the Red Hulk. It was from his like torso up to his head, and you opened up his back, and that's where all the popcorn was. And it's like, that's a prop. That's not just a popcorn bucket. That's a full-on collector's prop. And I know that's what they all are. And like Ultra saying, $80 for the Galactus one. And as you said, on the second market, that's only that'll be like $200 at some point.
Well, I think the reason that the Ecto 1 went up so much on the secondary market is because it's 1/12 scale. So it was
Oh,
a way for people to get a 1/12 scale Ecto-1 for photographs behind their Ghostbusters figures.
that's thinking too. I don't put it into that kind of thought because obviously I'm not a photographer, but that's if that's what you're into and that's worth it to you, then absolutely. But man, already going to the movies and paying for a ticket, there's $20 and then $100 just gone.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I remember, when I was a kid, the very first movie when I was 10 years old, I was finally old enough to go to the theater by myself, and I went to see Return of the Jedi,
Oh, killer.
and it was $3.
Wow. You hear that, people? $3 to go see Star Wars, first of all. To see a Star Wars movie for $3, that's fucking awesome. But a $3 movie in general, I don't think even in my lifetime it was ever that low.
Right,
Damn.
right. Well, and the crazy thing is, it was all the way through the 80s, right? Now, by the end of the 80s, movie ticket prices were like $6 or $7,
Mm-hmm.
but the matinee prices was still $3.50.
That's a hell of a deal, man.
So, like, yeah, if you went in the afternoon, you'd still get that cheap ticket price.
Whew. I couldn't imagine that. Like, what a inflation from 350. Let's just say that's the bare minimum. 350 for a movie back in the 80s to literally almost $20 for one person to go see a fucking movie that is going to be out in theater or out on DVD a month after it's in theaters or streaming or wherever it's going to be available. Like, man.
Well, and the funny thing about inflation is, prices go up, and then, people are like, well, I can't afford that anymore. I need a raise.
Yeah.
So they raise the minimum wage, and then employers are like, well, now we can't afford to pay their salary. We need to raise prices. And it's
Yep.
this vicious cycle, and the only people benefiting are the millionaires, because the more expensive it is, the more money they can put in their bank accounts.
Exactly.
So the business looks like an asshole for raising their prices. The employees look like assholes for asking for more money. And at the end of the day, it's just billionaire assholes ruining it for everybody.
Exactly. Oh, you know what? Speaking of that, fuck you, Batman. Get off the screen, you billionaire asshole.
Well, I think Batman falls into the philanthropist category.
Yeah, he does. But you know what? Get him out of here. We're done with Batman, anyways. Because
But Batman is also a fictional billionaire.
this is true. This is true. So you know what, Batman? You come right back over here. Especially you, Val Kilmer. We love you. Do you have a favorite Val Kilmer performance? Since we're speaking to him, real quick.
Yes, I do. It's Real Genius.
Oh, that's a good one too. Not a
It
lot
is
of
a
people.
hilarious movie, and he has the best lines in it.
Not a lot of people reference his like comedy roles as much as they do the more serious ones. So that's a good one.
Right. I mean, he gets great lines, like when he confronts Ken and he says, well, what about that time I caught you naked with that bowl of Jello? And Ken's like, I was hot and I was hungry. Yeah, that movie is it's a masterpiece. And it's unfortunately a lot of the younger generation has never even heard of it.
I'm finding out my age the more movies I hear people that like they don't know these movies that were in the 80s or the 90s. That's when I start to personally feel old because it's like, how have you not heard or seen the movie Tommy Boy? Because I feel like to me, everybody that's alive has seen that movie. Like it's Chris Farley. But that's just the little, echo chamber I live in.
Well, the problem with Chris Farley was that it was the same problem with John Belushi.
Oh yeah.
Right? The studios were like, well, the cocaine makes him funnier, so let him do as much as he wants, even if it'll kill him.
Right, just push that so we can make the dollar off of it. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
But my favorite Val Kilmer performance, like Real Genius is my favorite movie with Val Kilmer.
Okay.
But I think his best performance as an actor was in Tombstone when he played Doc Holliday.
Yeah. That's the one I feel like 99% of people will pick, just because you do see, just because of obviously the character's deterioration throughout the film, you get to see his ability to act as that struggle is,
Right,
it
right.
seems real.
He's
Yeah.
playing someone who's dying of tuberculosis.
Yeah, and his just reserve throughout the whole movie too, where you always know he's sick, and he looks sick, he acts sick, but he never lets that hold him back, and that he does stand out as one of the best characters in that movie.
Yeah, easily the best performance in the film. But yeah, Tokyo says the Lorax was the first movie they seen at the Dollar Theater.
I
We
thought I saw
used to
something.
have a Dollar Theater here in Chicago, but unfortunately it got closed down due to gang violence.
Goddamn Chicago. We had, I do remember having a dollar theater, but I only ever went there once, and I didn't know that's what it was. I just thought, oh, this is like it's a shitty little theater downtown, and that's just a cheapo thing. But my dad took me to see whatever year it was, 2003, Jim Carrey's The Grinch for $1. But again, I didn't have an understanding of this was a dollar theater. I just thought it was a special thing they were doing that one day.
Yeah, I saw Ghostbusters 2 in a Dollar Theater.
I'd buy that for $1. Oh, I wish that was a RoboCop movie you'd seen instead. That would have been a better reference. We want He-Man. I
Yeah,
still think,
honestly, that He-Man movie, like, I don't know, man. It's kind of hard to get excited for a He-Man movie where they're back on Earth again. It's like they didn't learn from
have
their
they
mistakes the last time.
have they released, I mean, I know some images came out, but I don't think they were like official, like here's released images. I think they were kind of like someone taking a picture of the dude that's playing Prince Adam. But has there been any official images or videos of the movie?
No, just leaked on set images.
Hmm. I don't
There
know if
was
that.
one image that was kind of promising because it was like the road up to the drawbridge of Castle Grayskull.
Okay, so there is some.
So they do go to Eternia, but you know when the first image you see from a movie
Yeah.
is He-Man wearing a salmon button-up shirt, it's that doesn't bode well. You know what I
and
mean?
he's and he's getting arrested, because I think that was the picture I saw. He was like in handcuffs with the cops or some shit like that, and I
Right,
mean, he
right.
looked.
And you look at Tila's outfit from the film, and it's like you could tell that they initially wanted to like put her in her Tila outfit without the legs being covered.
Yeah.
But then they were like, "Oh no, it's gonna offend people. Let's put some tights on her." But they
Ugh.
still have the like underwear over the pants look, and now because she's got the tights under it, it looks like she's wearing a damn diaper.
Oh my lord. Yeah, see, Frost, they announced the He-Man movie a couple years ago, and they've been working on it throughout the years. I think it has a next year release date. I'm not 100% sure. I'm probably just taking a shot in the dark because of how long it seems they've been working on it. I'm personally, I'm not, sitting on the edge of my seat, can't wait for it, but I do look forward to hopefully a good He-Man movie, because that kind of shit, that's in my wheelhouse. I like stuff like that. So I personally want a good movie out of it. So then that way there's more stuff like that. Maybe there'd be a Thundercats movie at some point, which that I would get really into. So I hope it's good. But yeah, for fans, I could only imagine, for fans of the He-Man franchise, of the toys and shit, the cartoon, seeing that first image of, Prince Adam on Earth probably doesn't have a good taste in your mouth, because of the previous movie where they did that kind of shit, where it's like, no, man, you're showing us the stuff that we don't want to see. Like, why are you? And maybe that's a misdirect. Hopefully, probably not though.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of faith in it myself. But
I want
what
it
do
to
I
be
know?
good. You're the fan base, like you Graybeard, Kaz, you guys are all literally like, if there was another new Ninja Turtles movie coming out, I would obviously be like, look, it may look like shit. It probably is going to be shit, but I'm hoping it's not, because this is for me. Like, so for you guys in the overall arc to be like, we're kind of meh on this movie. It's a bummer, because it's like, damn, they've had years and decades to really, I don't want to use the word perfect, but to really craft a good He-Man movie. And the fact that it's like meh at best, it's like, damn. Because
All
it's
right, Ace, I just shared a screen there. If you don't mind showing it.
where do I go to guess?
You
Yep.
should probably see it down there at the bottom. You should be able to. There it is.
Yep, I
Yeah, look
gotcha.
at this thing. Tell me that
Oh,
doesn't look like she's wearing a diaper over some
that
tights.
literally looks like a diaper.
Right, and you could see that the pants were not part of the original plan, because
Right.
this was the original uniform here. But they were like, no, we can't have that. Got to cover those legs. And
Oh,
then there's
man.
He-Man in his salmon button-up.
So do you think in that salmon button up, he's going to have a scene where, excuse me, where his sleeves get ripped off, and then there you go, he's got his fucking pink vest?
I seriously doubt it. I have very little faith.
I need to see like the actual, like, I don't want to use mutated as the word, but like the creatures. I need to see what Skeletor is going to look like. I need to see Beast Man. Give me Man at Arms and Ram Man and Stratos. I need to see all of that environment and world to really be like, yes,
Right,
let's
right.
go.
And since Skeletor is being played by Jared Leto, you
I'm
could
worried.
probably expect the other cast members to be getting dead rats and used condoms in the mail.
Well, I just saw, I haven't really seen anybody covering it, so I didn't really look into it, but I saw a headline and a thumbnail maybe a week ago of like accusations against Jared Leto for like sexual misconduct with, girls and shit like that. And again,
Well, you remember when he did Suicide Squad, he had sent Margot Robbie used
oh,
condoms in the mail.
oh yeah, like you just said, with and weren't they doing like a table read, and he put a dead rat on the table or some stupid shit
Well,
like
he had
that?
mailed dead rats to the other cast members.
That's what it was. Yeah, fucking weird dude.
Yeah, he's kind of a nut job.
Pretty much. So I don't know if maybe that's hindering anything about this movie, but it's kind of like, well,
Well,
it's
on
not
a
really.
happier note, though, that final trailer for Fantastic Four came out, and the Silver Surfer looks a lot better. Like they refined the effects for her.
Okay.
Galactus looks incredible.
Yeah.
The look of the film is what has me excited. They call it Fantastivision, but what it is it's basically they shot the movie to look the way that they thought the future would look at the World's Fair
The
back in
world.
the what was it, the 1940s or the 30s or
Yes.
whatever.
Yes. Which it does. It gives it a very cool aesthetic look. I'm 100%. I'm like, just like Superman. I know there's this, conflict of interest. What are you going to go see, Superman or Fantastic Four? I'm going to go see them both because I'm a fan of comic book shit and I want to just see them.
Right.
But
I've never understood people who think you need to pick.
right. I mean, you can have a preference, but if you genuinely like comic book stuff, you're probably going to see them both. I mean, that's like going off the rails a little bit. Wrestling fans, you can, back in the day, they tried to make it seem like SmackDown and Raw were, obviously they call them two different brands, and they would say, oh, the fans of SmackDown and the fans of Raw. And I was always like, I watch them both. Who the fuck is not watching both WWE Raw and WWE SmackDown? Like,
Right. Because if you don't watch them both and you get to the pay-per-view, you're confused about half of what you're watching.
yeah, exactly. So, and yeah, the comic book movie Superman's not going to be with Fantastic Four, but I'm not going to make it a war on which one I want to do better or which one I'm going to see. They both look fun. And to me, as
Right.
long as you look fun, you look engaging, and I've already got an interest, then let's go. But with Fantastic Four, I know I'm the only human being that's ever going to say this in the entire world. and I'm ready to die on this hill. Until I see the movie, I don't want to commit to this thought, but how do I say it? When I see the trailers for the new Fantastic Four, all I want to do is go back and watch the Tim Story ones from 2005 and 2007. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because it's the Fantastic Four and that's the feel. I just want to watch those characters. But I just get this, meh, I can't wait to see Galactus, but I feel like we've seen the Silver Surfer story. And of course we have to do it because it's a huge narrative in the Fantastic Four, storyline. But other than it visually looking cool, I really need this new Fantastic Four movie to offer me something more than just a Galactus story. Like Doctor Doom, damn it be all, if he's in it a little bit. I know Mole Man might be in it, which that's the kind of stuff I want to see. I want to see a big, sprawling, fantastic world.
Well, that Garganto that you see in the commercial, that's just for that commercial.
Yeah.
And that's why the effects don't look as good as they do in the actual trailer for the film. So whether or not we actually get a Garganto, I have no idea. But I do like the way they did the commercial because they like basically recreated the original Fantastic Four cover for
yes,
number one.
100%.
You know what I mean? And I thought that was fantastic. I think that we're going to get a pretty good story here with the Fantastic Four. I think it's going to be visually spectacular. And I have absolutely no worries about the Superman film either because, well, it's James Gunn. And James Gunn has not made a bad comic book movie.
No, I agree. I mean,
The Suicide Squad was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, especially
the Peacekeeper show was fantastic.
Was very good. That's a 10 out of 10 in my opinion. I love that show.
And all 4 Guardians of the Galaxy films are top notch.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people poo-poo on the second one, and it's not the greatest, but it gives that story perfect continuity. It flows really good as a sequel. So overall, yeah,
I actually like the second one better than the first, to be honest with you.
See, my only issue, and this literally is my only issue with the second one, is I feel that there were more jokes in it, which isn't a bad thing. I just don't think certain jokes were placed in the right spot. And then there's only one fight scene with Drax in the entire movie, and that was in the beginning of it. And I'm like, what the fuck? I want to see Batista throw down like crazy in this movie. And there was only one fight scene.
Well, but one thing that I have to say that the second movie illustrated better than the first was that all of these characters in the Guardians are superhuman by Earth standards.
Yeah.
Right? You remember when they're like trying to blow up Ego as his planet for him?
Yep.
And they get knocked out of the mining ship that they were in. And they all fall like 200 feet and they all just land on their feet like it's nothing.
Right.
Right, a human being, like if that was Hawkeye or Black Widow, they'd have splattered on the ground like nothing, you know?
Oh, I mean, basically 100%. We saw that in Endgame with Black Widow when she fell on Vormir or whatever. And
Right. But, and the Christmas special, that's just hilarious.
Oh, you know what? I always forget about that one. I always forget about the Christmas special. And that was a really good little addition they did.
Right. But the best thing about the second one, because, the second one, the first one is more about, like, he's getting over losing his mother. Right? Because he clings to that tape deck like it's his life. You know what I mean?
100%.
He goes back into prison to get it.
Almost dies
and it's
for
about him forgetting his old family and accepting a new one. Right? Well, then the second movie, it tackles, like, his father issues, where his real father turns out to be a piece of shit, and the father that he had taken for granted all that time winds up sacrificing himself to save his life.
Which, man, I don't give a shit who you are. That fucking scene will choke you up every time.
Dude, the fact that the last frame of that movie is a tear rolling down Rocket's cheek to Fathers and Sons by Cat Stevens.
Seriously.
Come on, man.
A computer generated image of a computer generated tear makes grown ass adults get choked up. That scene alone right there is why I will give James Gunn my money to go see what he puts out on the big screen, because he was able to capture that fucking moment.
Well, and look at the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, that was a
right?
fun movie.
When he James Gunn, he can make you laugh 1 second and cry the next. Like, I challenge anyone like to watch the Suicide Squad and get to the scene where Ratcatcher 2 is talking about her father, played by what's his name, Taika Waititi,
right.
and how he died of a heroin overdose, leaving her with the rats. You know what I mean? Like,
that
it's
and
crazy. You know what I mean? And like, he knows how to tug your heartstrings 1 second
100%.
and make you laugh the next. You
Man,
know,
when
and the way he like showed like when Harley Quinn's escaping, right?
yeah,
And instead of showing blood splatter everywhere, you see flowers and birds and cartoons and shit. And it's just he's showing you Harley Quinn's psychotic perspective of the situation.
right. She sees it as this big party, even though she knows she's murdering people. She's not completely an idiot, but to her, it's a fun game. And we have never gotten to see that portrayed that way before.
Right.
So yeah, I mean,
and who else but James Gunn could make Starro the Conqueror your main villain at the end of the film, and
oh
then even
man,
make Starro sympathetic, because after they beat him, Starro's last words are, "I was happy floating amongst the stars."
right.
Like he didn't even want to be there as the villain, but we forced him to, us evil humans. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like
I
he
mean,
took he made a kaiju, a starfish kaiju, a sympathetic character.
a giant pink and blue starfish, right? And only he could do that. Only he could bring that character to life and make, brainwashed starfish faced people. He make it appropriate for the screen and have characters fighting them. Like in any other world, that sounds like that wouldn't work, but he figured it out and made it work. And even with character development, I
Dude,
didn't give
how do you make me like Polka Dot Man?
right. Especially when you see his mom, like that was
Oh,
it's
that's
still a weird.
hilarious. That's like one of the best sketches in the movie.
But like the with Rick Flag, I gave two shits about the actor and the character in the very first Suicide Squad. Like most people, I don't think anybody really gravitated to a character in that movie. But in the second one, if you want to call it a second, when Peacemaker killed him, I was absolutely like, what the fuck? Like this dude is like the hero. He's the I don't want to say the face, but he's the main guy. And now you got John Cena, who I kind of liked. Now he's this asshole that I hope dies. And then you bring him back and you make me like him again.
Right. Oh, and in the Peacemaker show,
yeah.
like, here's the thing. John Cena, I'm glad he's retiring from wrestling because he is a much better actor than he is a wrestler.
Yeah, he's definitely found his craft.
That one scene in Peacemaker where he's in his mobile home after getting out of prison.
Yeah.
And he's just like crying. Everybody hates me. I'm such a loser. And then his friend comes in and he's just like, "Oh no, I was just practicing." Like, what? Practicing what, dude? Hilarious. Like,
it's good stuff.
James Gunn has not made a bad comic book film ever. So I'm pretty excited for Superman.
Yeah, I look forward to it too. I mean, I can't say if obviously if I was more of a DC mark, I'm a Batman guy through and through. I know enough of Superman. I've seen almost every Superman cartoon movie that DC's done. I've seen all the live action ones. I've watched, other than the newest CW version of the Superman TV show, I've watched all of the live action shows and shit that I've ever come across for Superman. So I personally want to see it. I wish it was Henry Cavill because I really thought he was an excellent Superman for that version of those movies. But
Well, this is apparently the reason that he's doing this is this is a different universe, apparently.
yeah, which I'm okay with that. I
Right?
don't need.
Because what you have to take into consideration is because you've got Mr. Terrific, Hawkgirl, and Green Lantern, Guy
Yeah.
Gardner, Green Lantern, and they represent in the film Justice Society.
Yes.
Now, if you remember in the comic books, Justice Society preceded Justice League.
Right.
Right? And it wasn't until Justice Society turned out to be corrupt that Superman left the Justice Society and formed the Justice League with Batman and Wonder Woman.
Correct.
So this is like, pre-Justice League DC here. So kind of like the Fantastic Four does not take place in the same universe as the MCU.
Right.
It's an alternate universe, and I think like this is like obviously it's not a spoiler. I haven't seen the Fantastic Four, but if I had to make a prediction, I would say that Galactus is drawn to Franklin Richards' power. Because Franklin Richards is like Omega powered, omnipotent mutant, right?
Yes, 100%.
And I think that the Silver Surfer in that film will sacrifice herself to help the Fantastic Four escape into the regular Marvel Cinematic Universe with Franklin.
And then in our universe, or the 616, I'm going to piggyback off of that. That's where I believe we're going to get the Norrin Rad version of Silver Surfer, the male version.
Right, the Norrin Rad, because I think Galactus will eventually follow them into that universe.
Yes.
And that's where Galactus will go after Norrin Rad's home planet, and Norrin Rad will agree to become the new Herald to save his world.
I'm right on board with you on that.
Right, but when Galactus comes to Earth in the 616 universe, well, he'll have a lot more than just the Fantastic Four to deal with, because the Avengers are there, the Hulk, all of those characters. And on top of that, Reed Richards will have had more time to come up with a solution, at which point he will probably have the ultimate nullifier and be able to deal with Galactus with ease. Now,
do you think... See, this is the only time I get a little, sweat on my eyebrow of worried is we know Dr. Doom is the overall arcing villain right now. Like they've announced that already. But with Galactus, do you think they're going to rush through Galactus in the first Fantastic Four movie just to get to Doom? Or do you think Doom and Galactus might coexist together somehow?
All right. Well, here's what I think, right? Because the Dr. Doom isn't from the main 616 universe either.
Right.
Right? Because Robert Downey Jr. is playing him. And as you can see, the same actors have played different characters in different universes. Like, for example, Chris Evans is both Captain America and Johnny Storm from another universe.
Fuck yeah, he is.
Right? So here's the thing. I think that Dr. Doom will use Galactus to piggyback into the 616. And once he does, he'll send Galactus on his way towards Silver Surfer's planet, Norrin Rad's planet, and he will go to Earth and pretend to be Tony Stark reborn just to get, to trick everyone into thinking he's a good guy.
Oh, you think it's going to be a deceiving thing? I know.
Yes.
See, I wasn't sure how,
because you're not going to hire Robert Downey Jr. without showing his face.
See, that's where I want them to fool us. Obviously it's Robert Downey Jr., but I want him to be hidden in prosthetics like they did with Colin Farrell's The Penguin. I
think it'll be a swerve where they, he tries to pass himself off as Tony Reborn.
Okay.
Or Tony brought back from another universe before we find out that he's not Tony. He's Victor Von Doom.
Okay. I have, we're speaking of Doom. Did you watch the Moon Knight show?
I did. I enjoyed it.
Me too. I watch it. I don't want to say regularly, like I go out of my way, but I have it on DVD. I absolutely love the Moon Knight show. I watch it at least since I've had it a couple of times a year. So I've maybe watched the seasons 3 times altogether.
Yeah, and I was happy to see Oscar Isaac get a little Marvel Redemption, because I swear to God, his Apocalypse is a travesty against comic books.
Oh my God! Not just that's a whole movie we could do a discussion on, just tearing that film apart from head to toe. But in Moon Knight, the scene where I think it was episode 2, or maybe it was the end of episode 1, when his character, I believe it was the Steven character, they do the mental thing where he goes into like another universe almost mind wise, and he's in this huge field and there's a giant castle behind him, and he's running through the field and everything like that, and then there's another scene that same, it's all the same episode, and he's trying to escape whoever's shooting at him and stuff. And I just remember seeing that castle and just always thinking like, wow, that's a really big random castle, yada yada yada. But the last time I watched it, there's a part where he's driving a truck, and when they're inside the cab of the truck, there's a piece of paper where like the back window would be. And just for a quick second, you see on this piece of paper the name Victor, and then the seat, the headrest of the seat covers the next part of the name out, but you literally see the name Victor and then a giant D right after it. I didn't catch it the first or second time I've seen it, but the third time, now I'm looking for Easter eggs and stuff like this. And that was just something I'm always like, oh, I wonder if he's in Latveria.
Well, but there've also been Easter eggs that they've abandoned.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
You're right.
Like, I'll give you an example in Civil War, when they're showing Sokovia on the map. If you look closely, you could see Sokovia's neighbor is Latveria.
Yeah.
So they were trying to sneak Doom in that early.
Right.
And then in Ant-Man and Wasp, when Hank Pym is going down into the Quantumverse to collect Janet Van Dyne, as he's shrinking down, you see like an office building on a ledge, like in the Microverse.
Really?
And that was meant to be the Baxter building that the Fantastic Four is in. You know what I mean? But clearly they went a different road with that.
Yeah, they definitely have abandoned a lot of the Easter eggs and stuff. Because the one I thought you were just going to say for Ant-Man was when he was shrinking down, you see, oh, my light just turned off. You see a small like castle in the background within the quantum verse, I guess, if you want to call it that. And at the time, I remember me and my buddies are like, oh, I bet you Dr. Doom is trapped in that little fucking little castle or whatever that building structure looks like. And then, years later, we get Quantumania, and you can literally now say, well, that is where that's where Kang was captured or living or whatever. You could just justify it that way. But
well, and it would have made sense if the office building was the Baxter that you see as he's shrinking down. It's in like maybe 2 frames of the movie. But as he's shrinking down, you see like an office building on like a small ledge as Hank Pym is shrinking down. And it would have made sense for that to have been the Baxter building and had the Fantastic Four having been trapped there.
Yeah.
Because, even in the comics, the Fantastic Four does get trapped in the negative zone for a time.
Exactly.
But, we'll see. We'll see what they do with it. I have high hopes for both the Fantastic Four and Superman.
Yeah, me too.
I have I do not have high hopes for He-Man. But, you can't win them all. And maybe we'll be surprised. Maybe Masters of the Universe will be the best of the 3.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something?
Right. I would call that a straight up miracle, to be honest.
Hey, what year was the movie Miracle? 1988 or 87? The hockey game. So miracles can happen, but I doubt it.
Oh well, I think the best hockey movie ever is Slapshot with Paul Newman.
Oh yeah, that's an older one too, for sure.
Yeah, that came out in the 70s, and then there was a 80s hockey movie starring Rob Lowe called Youngblood that was fantastic.
I've never seen that one. The only Young Bloods I know is that's Young Guns. I'm an idiot. I'm a moron.
Never admit that out loud.
No, I have to, because if other people beat me to it, then I have to agree with them, and I don't really like doing that either. But I am going to show off. I showed these off last Tuesday. I forgot they were sitting here because my room is darker than hell, which is nice. But I picked these up on eBay, the Ninja Turtle figures. And well, I guess I got you on eBay too there, Groundkeeper Willie. But I got these two characters here. They came in a 2-pack. This is from the NECA Ninja Turtle line for, oh my God, what's the word I'm looking for? Action figures, I guess. I don't really know. But this is Wingnut and Screw Loose. They are in only, out of 193 episodes of the cartoon, they're in one fucking episode. It blows my mind that these animators and creators,
blow up your screen, brother, so that the viewers can see it.
You got it.
There you go.
Perfect. It just blows my mind that with all these shows, and I'm sure you can probably name drop G.I. Joe episodes that do the same thing, where they come up with these really cool designed characters and then they only use them one time. And to me, it's like, why not keep bringing them back, especially when you make toys of them and put them in video games and you're trying to direct it towards kids or whatever. It's just, when I found that out, that these two guys like were in one episode for maybe 10 minutes out of 22 minutes, it was just like, holy shit. And here they are 30 plus years later making, $60. That's what these would have went for, off of two characters that had 10 minutes of screen time. Crazy. But they are pretty damn cool. I love cartoony mutated characters, so they're right up my alley. And they're not like the Ninja Turtles where they're mutated. These guys are aliens from outer space, which is, sure, why not? Let's do it. Like, this is basically like, it looks like Joe Pesci. I can't get over how, to me, this is Joe Pesci as a mosquito. Fully articulated. He's got,
it reminds me of Watto from the Phantom Menace.
Oh, why do you do this to me?
Puta Gandulia. I'm an Italian stereotype.
No. Yes, exactly. I love it. Poor Watto. Justice for Watto. He was great. I don't care if he was a slave trader. And then we've got Wingnut, who is dressed as Batman, which is just pretty appropriate. And he's got these teeny little wings with these big mechanical wings. There is no backstory in the cartoon of why he looks like this, but you can just have the idea of his big fat body cannot be held up by these itty bitty wings. So he creates his own.
Right? And now we're back to Watto, because Watto's wings were tiny and he flew on them.
And he flew, dude. Exactly. So these guys are basically a combination of Watto split between the two. And then we're just going to keep that little bug style, gross, whatever Watto even was, theme going with Baxter Stockman's version of The Fly. Now, this came in a 2-pack with the cartoon version of, I got the box right here, actually.
And let's not forget that Baxter Stockman was played in live action by Medea.
Yeah, Tyler Perry. And you know what? This is a confession. He actually fit the role very well for what this character represents in the show, which is this whiny, pathetic, sniveling little character. And I've never seen Tyler Perry in any other movie in my life, but I enjoyed him in that Ninja Turtle movie because he brought to the table what that character was supposed to be.
In Star Trek 2009, he is the judge residing over Kirk's trial.
No way. He's in the Chris Pine Star Trek movie?
Yes.
No way.
Yeah, the scene where they're in court because Spock accused Kirk of cheating on the Kobayashi Maru test. Yeah, Tyler Perry is the judge.
Wow, that's probably at the time I didn't even know who the hell he was. No shit. I have all three of those movies.
To respond to what you said earlier about a G.I. Joe example of a character that should have been brought back but was only in one episode.
What's up, Rough Shot?
There was an episode. How's it going, Rough Shot? There was an episode of G.I. Joe where Cobra had done experiments on a woman to make it so she could breathe underwater. So she was basically like a Cobra mermaid. Her name was Mera. And she had like a love interest thing for Shipwreck.
Yeah,
And
that's
her
my
and
favorite
Shipwreck
show.
like hook up in the episode. And then you never see her again. And it's like, come on, man. Like she's literally, like a Cobra experiment, like a biological experiment. She should have appeared in more than one episode.
Yeah, and that's strange to me that they do that, especially, I'll give these guys the pass and say, okay, they don't have a deep-seated history with the turtles. They're just an in and out. But like you just said, that character was created, which could fold into a whole nother storyline of like, wait a minute, what else could we do here? And then you have a love interest with Shipwreck, which could have been an interesting, 1 or 2 episode little arc.
Right.
Now, did they obviously they didn't?
Another character, also a love interest, Quick Kick's girlfriend in the show, in G.I. Joe, actually almost joins the Joes.
Oh,
So like she should have like reappeared as well. But apparently they only wanted Flint and Lady J to be the only couple on the Joe side.
oh, that's politics. Blah.
Well, because in that first season they tried to push Duke and Scarlet, but unfortunately the comic book fans came out first and they were like, Scarlet doesn't belong with Duke, she belongs with Snake Eyes.
Now, in the comics, in the cartoons, did Snake Eyes ever talk at all, or no?
Never.
I love that. I think that's so interesting that they can make a character so badass and not talk at all. Like that, I find that really cool.
Well, one of the best issues of the comic book ever was an issue called Silent Interlude. And what it was Scarlet had been captured by Cobra. And Snake Eyes snuck into Cobra by himself to get her out. And because Snake Eyes is your character, there was no dialogue through the entire comic book.
Just all pictures and panels, yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's cool. See, and that's, to me, that's a tough sell right there, that you can get away with having, basically a silent issue like that. So I like it.
Right. Wouldn't have worked with Eddie. It wouldn't have worked if Snake Eyes didn't exist.
Right.
But the thing is, like in the comic books, the reason Snake Eyes can't talk and wears a mask is because he got badly burned in a helicopter explosion saving Scarlet.
Really? That's his actual origin?
Right. So having Scarlet try and like be Duke's love interest in the cartoon never got over with the fans. And that's why they introduced Flint and Lady J as the couple.
No shit. I didn't know that. I just figured it was a ninja thing, like he took a vow of silence or whatever, something like that.
No,
Wow.
that's just some live action movie bullshit they made up because they didn't want to do well, because here's the thing, right? You can't like have Snake Eyes and Stalker and Storm Shadow's history be Vietnam at this point in time, right? Because they would be 90 years old.
Right. It's out of date now, yeah.
Right. So, if anything, you could like you would have to update Vietnam to like Desert Storm or something in order to still do that story.
Exactly. And I don't think it would have the same gravity to it, because those wars were totally different in the way they were fought, to make totally different human beings come out of each one.
Right. They were fought for the same reasons, though.
Yeah.
They had resources that our government wanted.
Exactly. So you could get away narratively with that for sure. But it's kind of like the how do you do the X-Men in the 21st century that we're in? Do we still have Magneto being during the Holocaust, or do we reinvent him as a black guy that was during, Martin Luther King's era and was segregated for racial stuff like that? It's like,
Well,
how do you?
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Because what's next for us? They're not going to bring the X-Men into the main Marvel universe until after Secret Wars, right? And what Secret Wars is going to do, it's going to take all the existing Marvel universes and mash them into one and make them fight for supremacy.
Yes.
Hey, Ace, I don't know if you're interested. That Apu that you have there, that box,
Yes, sir.
we at the store where I work, we actually have it's the same kind of box, but instead of Apu, it's Sideshow Bob, and instead of the bowling alley, it's the Krusty soundstage.
Oh man, I would love that. That would be
We
great.
also have I believe it's Apu and Barney in their barbershop quartet outfits.
Oh, like their striped little shirts and their hats or whatever.
Right, right.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah, the Sideshow Bob one. That's one of my favorite characters inside the cartoon. I mean, you can't go wrong when you
Yeah,
have
if you're
Kelsey
interested,
Grammer.
I can find out how much it is, and we can ship it to you if you like.
Oh man, yeah, I would pay for shipping and stuff like that for sure, 100%, because it's this one right here. The Krusty Lou Studios with Sideshow Bob.
Right.
These
Yeah,
are
we have that. We have that at the store.
these things. I absolutely love these Simpson sets. I think the sets look amazing. I think the figures look amazing. And for them having an electronic, chip inside not only the playset but these little figures themselves, that's ahead of the time back in the 2000s for a simple toy like this. Because now, even with the up-to-date version of these toys, they don't have that microchip in them. They don't have that feature, and they're more expensive than
Yeah.
what
Well,
these
they
were.
sacrificed that feature for articulation, though.
Right. That's exactly what I was going to say. You have to balance out the scale and take your hits where you do, and that's right. That's exactly what it is. They took the hit with the microchip for the articulation, which I'm not complaining. I'm just saying for the early 2000s, that's a really, really cool feature to have and a really nice uh, ability to play around with and have all these different play sets, because they made like anywhere to like, it feels like 25 different play sets that they've made. And I've shown this one off on the channel. I just picked him up for, I think it was $8 on eBay, and he came with both of his accessories. So I think that's a pretty good deal. $10 is like the base that I would pay for one of these in box. So, 10 or less out of the box with all of the accessories. That's a pretty good deal in my book. And then with this one, I only paid like $21 and change for it, which I think is really, really great.
Yeah, I don't
Like I
think
said, I
they're
think,
asking a ton for the Sideshow Bob. I'll find out when I'm at work on Thursday. And Dose Studios, to answer your question,
oh, I didn't realize
yes,
that
I
was in
am
here.
back at the toy store. However, I am only handling their shipping now.
There we go. What's up,
I'm
Joe?
the
Thanks
one
for joining.
that pulls and packs all the orders and ships them off to the post office.
Oh, that's
But
cool.
I'll be there on Thursday. I'm there on Monday as well, but I'm alone there on Monday. So when I'm there on Thursday and the owner's there with me, I'll go ahead and get a price on that for you.
Yeah.
And if you like the price, I'll just call you while I'm there.
Yeah.
And if you like the price, I'll just have you put you on with the boss. And you can like pay for it with him, and I'll ship it out to you that day.
Oh, that would be great. Absolutely. Yeah, you got my number. So, I'm at work Thursday until like 1:30, but I pick up every single call while I'm at work. My boss doesn't give a shit, so I'll be available all day pretty much.
Right. Well, I'll call just to be safe. I'll call you at 2
Okay, that works as well.
because
That
I'll be
works
at
as
work
well.
until like 5 or 6, so it's all
Okay.
good.
Cool. Awesome. That would be great. Uh, because not only if I had that Sideshow Bob one, I would have the Krusty Lou Studio, but I have my original Krusty the Clown figure and the Sideshow Mel that would all go right with that set. So that would be really cool.
Nice.
But like I
I'd be
said,
happy to help you complete something.
oh, that would be great, because my goal, my daughter was even asking me this, because I will never in my lifetime financially ever be able to collect the entire interactive world of Springfield toys. They have at least over 500 different figures for this specific line of toys. So my goal is, when I get 50 individual packaged figures and 20 boxed play sets, then I'm going to do a live video of me unboxing everything and just ripping through all of them, which is very exciting to think about. So if I
Nice,
had the
nice.
crusty one, that would give me 4 play sets, because not only did I get this one, I have the World of Springfield, the Main Street playset, which is like their holy grail of all the playsets. I have the KBBL radio, and I just got this in the mail. The box is broken, or the plastic is, which is okay, because if I'm going to open them eventually, it doesn't really matter. But this, Rough Shot, I saw you in the chats. If you're still here, they made a Simpson action figure of just your face, and here it is. There's Graybeard right there.
Nice.
Old Jasper. So I picked this one up. The guy was asking $20 for it, or best offer, because, like I said, the plastic is all broken in the front here. I literally offered him $17.50, and the dude took it. So I got this for $17.50 plus $2 for, I think, the shipping for eBay. So about $19 altogether, a little bit more than that, which I think is a pretty good deal.
The biggest offense that line ever made was they put out the Quickie Mart and it didn't come with Apu. It came with Duffman.
No, they had a Quickie Mart that had a poo with it.
Oh, the Quickie Mart that we had came with Duffman.
Oh, no. See, when I was a kid, the only 2 play sets that I had were the Quickie Mart with a poo, and then the school with Principal Skinner. Let me see real quick if I have. Yeah, right here. It might be hard to see, but there is the Quickie Mart with a poo.
Oh, yeah, that's a different play set than the one that we had.
Yeah. Like I said, they made...
Maybe it was 2 Quickie Marts linked together to make one big Quickie Mart.
It very well could have been, because even my history lesson on these things is pretty limited, because I didn't even know. Like, I'll grab this real quick. Hold on. Like, some of these I've never even seen before. Like, this is the smallest playset that I've seen. Like, obviously you see the thickness of these. And this is what the standard was. So when I bought this one, I was like, oh my God, this is tiny. Were these this tiny when I was a kid? And this is a very, very thin little playset. And all it is just a little recording booth for the 2 characters. But I thought this one was really cool, and I picked it up for extremely cheap. But the biggest one, if I got room for it, this one was out of box when I bought it, so it's out of box now. My daughter plays with it. Is the Main Street. And like I said, that's a big boy. And this one it came with the squeaky voice teen, or the pimply face teen, whatever version you want to call him. And then the crazy old man. When I bought this, the guy was missing the crazy old man, but he stuck a Bleeding Gums Murphy in there as, a makeup character, which was pretty cool, I thought. And then there it is on the back side. Ooh, got that glare right in the way. There we go. And I picked this up. I think it goes anywhere from like $100 and up. I think I picked that one up for like $75, $80 altogether, something like that. But that is that. So Roughshod is a crusty old man. No, that if you want to say that, no, you can say he's a crusty old man.
The Simpsons are well known for predicting the future. And that's
Yes.
them predicting roughshod in the old folks' home.
Right. That's right. That is right. I thought it did look like him though at first. I mean, I've never thought of Jasper as any other person, but as soon as I see him now, I'm like, oh, that big gray white beard. Like, who else can I think of? But I can't wait. Oh, it's so tempting to open these now just to check them out. And it's very tempting to open them just to take the batteries out of them because hopefully they're not completely corroded on the inside. Because I do believe, yeah, they are included, it says. But
Right. Well, I think the benefit is I do believe that they have like a little plastic pull tab.
oh, you know what? I never. Oh, yeah, it's for the before the battery actually connects in there.
Right, right.
Yeah, you know, it's been so fucking long since I've literally opened one of these. I didn't even think of it like that. So it'll be cool though to get a bunch of these eventually and
But
open
you
them
know,
all up.
even if it is there is a little bit of corrosion, it's nothing that a little bit of alcohol and a toothbrush won't fix.
That is something that you can clean off then. Yeah, I never looked into that.
Right, right. Just a little rubbing alcohol on a toothbrush. You can clean up the little copper connectors with it, and you'll be fine.
All right on. So I'm not too worried then. I'm very
Yeah,
excited because
I fixed a GI Joe Mobat tank that way.
oh, okay. Now is
Yeah,
that
because
something you
someone had
bought?
left the batteries in it since 1982, and there was all
Damn.
this corrosion over the copper connectors. And I just cleaned it up with rubbing alcohol and a toothbrush, and it worked fine after.
Oh, that's awesome. That's very awesome. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. The profit director giving us free advice right there. Take it while you can.
Oh yeah, No Studio says a Q-tip and white vinegar works as well.
Okay. Sweet. Makes me want to open them even more now to check them out
And
and play with them.
incidentally, if you have old toys that were white at one point but have yellowed, you could stick them in a Ziploc bag with some white vinegar in the sunlight, and it will get rid of the yellowing.
Really? So putting vinegar in a Ziploc bag with the toy and putting it in the sun?
Yes,
Really?
100%.
I don't think I have any. You know what? No, I do because not many people realize it, but the white Lego loses its whiteness and it starts to get like a yellow hue to it. Now I don't know if that's like the plastic itself is like oxidizing or whatever the right word would be, but
That's exactly what it is.
so yeah. Interesting. I have learned a
Yeah, I
lot,
was thinking
honestly.
about doing a video on it because I have
That would be
a 25th
good. I would
anniversary Spirit figure.
yeah.
He had the light blue shirt, and the chest is a completely different color from the short sleeves due to oxidization. So I
I
was
would watch
thinking
the
about
video.
doing an example video of putting the Spirit figure in the plastic bag with some white vinegar and leaving that in the sun just to show people how it works.
That would be cool because when you said that, I literally my brain was doing the gymnastics of like, that's an interesting thing. I never heard of that. Like so I would watch that just out of the curiosity and to learn because like I said, or like I was about to say, just being within this small little toy community, I have learned so many fixing, a broken toy to where as a kid I would have thought, oh man, the leg fell off of this. I got to throw it in the garbage and hope my mom will buy a new one. Little did I know, a little bit of this and a little bit of that, you can put it back together, or you can cut, cob job it your own way. So that's a nice little trick to know.
Well, that's one of the things that like turned me into the customizer that I am today is growing up with GI Joe, right?
Yeah.
Because those O-ring Joes, like they were held together with 3 screws and a rubber band.
Right.
So you could Frankenstein the hell out of Joes like nobody's business. And that kind of like, you'd get a rubber band that broke, or you'd get a crotch piece that broke or a thumb that broke, and you'd want to
Oh
fix
my
it.
God, the fucking thumbs, man. The thumbs. Oh,
Right, right. So, but you just want to replace the part if you could. Like, one of my least favorite Joes from back then was Grunt, right? Because he was just the most basic, simple Joe. And I, he was the army builder. So a lot of us had like multiples of Grunt, but no one ever played with Grunt. So, while your rock and roll's thumb was broken, Grunt's thumb was intact. So you just, take the arm off a Grunt, put it on the rock and roll, or the breaker or whatever, and you could,
Right.
repair it. Although nowadays there's a much better way to fix broken thumbs on those figures. A little bit of green
Is
stuff
it
and
really?
some paint, and you're good.
There you go. Yeah, I remember that would be the biggest issue we would have is, oh, we got to get the gun in his hand, and then boop, the little fucking plastic thumb would break off, and then you're like, oh, well, let's get some tape
Right,
and tape the
right. Well, because
goddamn
those
gun.
first couple of years of GI Joe, right, especially the straight arm Joes, the
Yes,
plastic they used had zero give. It was very brittle.
very brittle.
Right
Yeah,
now, as the years went on, like starting from like 84 forward, they started using a bit softer plastic that had a little more give to it.
right.
So the thumbs wouldn't break off as easy. That's why when you see like figures with broken crotches or broken thumbs, they usually from 82 or 83.
Okay. Hmm. Yeah. See, like with these, just thinking this is the only older figure I have right now. Is this? I could pop these legs off and stuff because they're just the white little ball joint like that.
Yeah,
And
it's just
but
a
as a
ball joint.
yeah, but
Right,
as a
right.
kid, I didn't. I mean, not that I would literally like, oh, if his tail fell off, I wouldn't just chuck him away. But I was so ignorant of, okay, his tail fell off. Well, we just misplaced his tail. Oh, I don't really want to play with him because he's not completed anymore. Or a leg could have popped off, and we would just go. And as I obviously I understood these things, but at the time, oh my god, I probably wasted playing with so many toys because I thought they were broken.
Well, it was kind of funny because I think I might have been like the same way, but I had an incident that happened when I was 8 years old. I was watching a Betamax tape of The Empire Strikes Back,
Yep.
and the VCR kind of ate the tape, right?
Oh yes.
So I, saw screws on it, so I opened up the thing and I pulled the tape out and rewound the tape. And my mother came home and she saw the VCR was taken apart basically.
Yeah.
And she started panicking. She's like, oh my God, your stepfather's going to be so mad. Like, just put it in a box. We'll take it to the shop and see if they can fix it. And she went upstairs to take a shower after work. And by the time she'd come back down, I had it put back together and I was watching Empire Strikes Back again.
Nice.
So, it's like necessity kind of forced me to figure that shit out for myself. And
Exactly. The necessity. That's the perfect wording.
yeah, and ever since then, like, even when I was like a young teenager, 13 years old, like I never took my bike to a repair shop. I always like fixed my own bikes. And then later, like 16, 17, I was building my own bikes. So it was like,
Yep.
I learned very young, like how to be handy in that sort of way.
Yeah. I definitely I don't want to say it took me a few years, but I definitely, when I was a kid, I was an idiot as a kid. But then once, I think I want to say it was around the time I hit puberty, I feel like my brain started to work on a more functioning level opposed to, oh, I just made it through the day. That was interesting. Like I actually started to observe and understand and learn shit as I got a little bit older. It's definitely stunted as I've, gotten closer to my 40s. I've definitely become more like, yeah, I've learned enough. But
Yeah, for
with
me,
the
it's mostly like reverse engineering. right?
Yeah.
Like even in my cars, like if something like broke on my cars, like I would take when I would take the broken part off, I would mark everything where everything went, go buy the replacement part, and then put it in. Like I don't like taking things to a mechanic. Like I
All right.
remember
Just trying
I must have been maybe 19 years old the first time I had to replace a starter. And I did that shit on the side of the road.
Oh yeah. That must have
Yeah,
been
the
an
car was
interesting
a
little adventure.
69 Caprice Classic.
That
And
must have been an
yeah,
interesting.
I crawled under the car with a wrench, took the starter off, went to the walked a mile and a half to the auto parts store, bought the replacement part, and then walked back to my car, crawled under and put it on, and the car started up no problem.
There you go. Now, how much did that cost to fix back then?
All right, back then the part was like I think it was like $55.
Okay. Damn.
Yeah, I had to spend my because I had planned on buying a half ounce with that, but I had to put off the weed that week because I needed to fix the car.
Changing circumstances, of course.
Right, because the car is more important than getting high. Let's be real.
Well, right, because without the car, you can't go get the weed unless it's brought to you. But then, even then, you're like, well, I still got to get the car fixed. Now I'm just high. So, yeah, of course,
Right.
that's a good story. That's funny. Totally irrelevant, but we are going to end the show here because I do have to go drive out and pick my daughter up. But because of your story, it just makes me think of this woman I used to work with. We were talking about the movie Coneheads. Have you've seen that, right?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay, so yeah, however you feel about the movie Coneheads with Dan Aykroyd, she was, whenever this movie, not in theaters, but as soon as it was out of theaters, and then it was on TV. So at some point in the 90s, I think it came out in the 90s, maybe it came out in the 80s. Her car had broken down. She had walked to the closest house, and she was like, yeah, I knocked on their door. I go inside. I ask them if I can use their phone. As they're getting me their phone, she's like, the movie Coneheads was on. And she goes, wouldn't you know it? I sat there with those people that I didn't know and watched that movie Coneheads while the whole movie until the tow truck showed up to get my vehicle or something like that. So it's just that funny little got to get the car fixed story, but you find something else in between or whatever. However the fuck I'm trying to relate that to your story. There it is. That's it right there. Just a Conehead story, and weed stories and cars breaking down and all that sort of shit. So there we go. How about that?
Nice.
No. What
Well,
the hell? No.
I will let you get to it then, but don't forget to email me that logo, brother.
Yeah, I got a note right here, so I don't forget. So as soon as I get off of here, unless I forget, which I shouldn't, I'm literally looking right at it. I should be sending that right to you.
Awesome, brother.
And
I
now,
appreciate it because yeah, because
is that the only?
I'm starting I'm doing intro videos where I introduce everybody by their logo.
Yeah,
So it'll be
yeah.
like, my logo, Curtis's logo, M3's logo, Digital's logo, Geek Homewood's logo, and guest starring, and then it'll be your logo.
Ba-boom. I appreciate it. Yeah. And now, is that the only other thing you need, or do you need any other information?
That's it.
Or
I just need that logo from you. And
righteous.
you did send it to me on my phone. It's just I was not able to move it from my phone to my computer.
That's all good. I should be able to send it through the email. I still have that picture and stuff like that, so not a problem.
I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, of course. I appreciate you jumping on here and keeping the chat going, because God knows I would have ran out of shit to talk about 15. Well, I think I went 20 minutes before I opened the chat. So yeah, I would have went 20 minutes before I ran out of shit to say.
Well, I'm glad I could help.
Oh, of course, man. It's always a pleasure talking to you, and you'll probably
Always,
be
and
on
we'll be talking tomorrow night about the movies of 1989.
Can't wait, man. Thank you so much, Prophet, and I hope you have a great night, brother.
You as well, my friend. Have a good one.
All right. Take it easy. All right, folks. Everybody that's in the chat, Doe Studios, I see you. What are you rambling on about? You fool, you. What the fuck is a narfle and a goth rock? What are you saying? Are you speaking gibberish? Agreed, Prophet. We spent a good amount of time in junkyards and handling car repairs on our own. You know, I never experienced the junkyard car, venture and stuff like that. That was a part of my life I missed out on. You guys have a good evening. Guess I'll catch you on Kaz's show tonight. Yeah, absolutely. I'll be on Kaz. Well, I don't know if I'll be on it, but I'll be in the chat over at Kaz's here tonight. I just got to get going to pick up my daughter from her mother's place. Virgo, cool. What's happening? What is happening? You're catching us right at the tail end of the show. I know you popped in and you threw the first comment out there, so I appreciate you. Is it? I don't remember them saying that. Norfolk Garden. See, it's been a goddamn long time since I've seen that movie. The only thing I remember very vividly in that movie is Chris Farley, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Is when doesn't Dan Aykroyd's character rip the roof off of the car because Chris Farley's getting all handsies with his daughter, something like that. I have to watch that movie again. It's been a long ass time. Oh, the monster at the end. That's right. In that big arena. It's like a claymation fight. I'm going to watch that tonight. Mark my words. I'll watch that. But I want to thank everybody that was in the chat. Doe, Virgo, Tokyo, Doug, Old School, Seafrost. Who else we got? Roughshod Stalks, baby. The ultimate toy hunter. He is not Craven the Hunter. He is Graybeard the Hunter. And it's not Calypso that's giving him his powers. It's Virgo Cool. That's a sweet fucking reference. Love you guys. All right, everybody. We'll check you out at Kaz's. Thank you so much for watching and joining here at the Ace in the Hole Variety Show on a Saturday. Go figure. The Ace in the Electric Boogaloo. And we'll see y'all next time.